I've run 100 mile every month for the past 2 years, and it has changed my life for the better. There's a lot of benefit to running long distance that are beyond just fitness, and I think every runner realized these benefits pretty early on. Now that we're getting into the new year, I may be thinking about ways to improve our quality of life. And today what I want to do is discuss some of the benefit that I've observed and my friends have observed once they got into trail running and long distance running. Hi, my name is Simon. I'm an ultra runner. Welcome to my channel. This is potentially the first video of the year, so Happy New Year everyone. I hope you had a great break and we're going into 2024. The goal of my channel is to inspire you and get you out there on trail running, ultra running, and supporting your growth. And now with the new year 2024, a lot of good resolution. We're always looking for ways to improve our life, to be happier, to be healthier, and I think running is a great way to do that. Trail running or long distance running or just running in general, enjoying time out there. I know this might sound like a cult recruitment video, it's not, but I will be a little biased. Obviously, I love ultra running, I love trail running, and just so you know, these sports are not just for elite runner at all. I mean, I'm just a normal guy living a pretty normal life, having a normal job and normal day-to-day life, and trail running is just a great way to reset a little bit, to just say, hey, like, let's have some me time, let's enjoy life, let's be healthier both mentally and physically. So today I'm walking you through the 5 biggest benefits of trail running and long distance running. I guess the most obvious one is if you get into running, that's a sport, that's physical, you'll need to train, you'll be in better shape. So yes, there's a huge physical benefit of long distance running. I think running itself is a sport that is actually pretty rough on your body, especially if you're not used to it. So when you start running, it can be difficult, you can be in pain, but you will quickly notice that your body is adapting. So what I think is great about running is that it's a sport that is directly tied to your overall fitness, and you will see progression. You will see how your body is in fact building up and improving and being more resistant, which will have benefit in general. So yes, it's about running, but it's also, you can go hiking, you can do a lot of different things much more seamlessly without thinking about it because you're just in better shape. But beyond just that, it's, if you're doing long distance running, you're really making a commitment to your training, you're really making a commitment to your fitness, and you're really making a commitment to your health. So yes, being more fit, but beyond just fitness, I think what is great about long distance running and trail running and ultra running is that I think there's more emphasis on being healthy than, say, other sports where it's much more about performance, being faster, being leaner, being meaner, being competitive. There's a little bit of that, I guess, in trail running, but most people will commit more to being healthy and to some extent fit, but not necessarily to the expense of doing things that could be detrimental to your health in general. So you're making a commitment, yes, to fitness, but also to being healthy. And I think that's in the nature of just a sport where you will be out there for many hours. We're not trying to reach the breaking point. We're quite the contrary. We're trying to achieve a certain level of sustainability in our effort and in our running, which means that we're trying to not destroy our body because we need it to function. So I think that's a tweak that is a little different if I would compare, for example, when I was doing Ironman or if I was doing road running. I think these sports push the performance and the competitiveness to a level that sometimes can be a little unhealthy. And health will have a lot of different forms. It could be, for example, reaching a body weight that you're targeting, but it's also eating a little healthier, being conscious about what you put in your body, because you can't outrun a bad diet. And I think we all realize that to some extent. Yes, we'll need to eat a lot to fuel all of these miles, but junk food is junk food regardless of how much you're running. At one point, there was a photographer in the middle of the night, so I took time to be like, "Shaka bra!" And when I passed the photographer, I realized that I was actually just a bush. In French, we have a saying, we say, "Un esprit sain dans un corps sain," which essentially translates to a healthy mind and a healthy body. So yeah, running will be great for your body, but beyond that, I think a lot of people actually get into trail and ultra running when potentially their life is not exactly where they want it to be. Maybe they're struggling with anxiety, depression. I'm not saying it's necessarily a treatment, but it's certainly therapeutic to have time for yourself, time to reflect, and just time to enjoy nature. So there's clearly health benefit that are more mental health benefit to trail running in general, and for me that's my happy place. Work can be stressful, work can be demanding, life is not always easy, life is not always fair, but I'll try always to have some times for myself, for training runs, and even better, spending some quality time with my family, with my wife, with my friends, going on trail and just enjoying being out there, disconnecting from the trouble of life, and instead just being on trail. Doesn't have to, you don't have to run fast or pushing all the time. You're just out there enjoying it. You don't have to run to the point where you're puking. Again, we're trying to reach more sustainability, so we're trying to have a pace. Zone 2 training, that's how you run long, right? Slower so that you can talk, and that's going to be a great way to really just be happier in general. And that's going to be true both, maybe you have social run where you meet people, but also having some me time. This is my selfish time. This is the time that doesn't belong to work, doesn't belong to any obligation I have. This is for me. This is me time, and that's a great kind of pressure relief valve about stress, about anxiety, about sadness.
Feeling pretty good. We're almost at. Well, my watch says we're over a marathon now.
Nice.
So.
Mark, how are you doing?
Woo! Good, brother.
Yeah.
You're lighter now?
And one of the things I love the most about trail running, you come in maybe for the running, to be fitter, to be healthy, to have time for yourself, but it's a community. You will be part of a fantastic community, people that are amazing, low-key, friendly, helpful. I try to be funny. I'm doing my best, so good job, Simon. But really, you may sometimes feel a little bit isolated in life, and having a hobby like that, I think that's true for a lot of different hobbies, but I think that the community with trail and ultra running is very friendly. You will meet people at race, you will meet people on training run around where you live, and you will create a community of like-minded individuals that are working on themselves, and that instead of like going out drinking or whatever, have a hobby that is a little healthier, which is to be in nature, which is to travel by foot, something that is very connected, I guess, deep down to what we are as human, which is movement. And I don't know for you guys, but for sure I've seen a difference when you're a kid, you go to school, there's always people around, you make friends very easily, and as you get into adulthood, it kind of narrows down. If you work at a certain place for a long time, well, a lot of your network will be people at that work, and if you have kids, maybe it's other parents, but that's kind of a narrowing scope on your social kind of networking. So this is a great way to meet another group of people that you would not otherwise meet, and you'd be surprised. It's worth taking the time when you meet people to ask, what are you doing? Because there's a wide range of people out there, a wide range of what people do, and in the end are still on trail next to you running. Some really fantastic people, some characters. So yeah, you'll discover a lot. But before we dive into the next one, I'm curious to hear your thought on that. Is there any benefit that you've noticed yourself when you got into trail and ultra running? And basically, why do you keep running? Why do you love this sport so much? So let us know in the comments below. And as always, if you appreciate this video, please leave a thumbs up. That's helping me a lot with this channel. Thank you. Trail and ultra running will teach you a lot. It will force you to grow, to work on yourself, not just physically, but because of the challenge associated to trail running and ultra running, you'll need to work on improving different skill sets, which will have benefit on your whole life in general. And I think a lot of people ask me, how did you get into trail running and ultra running so quickly? How you've been able to transition, even though you don't have a background in sports so much, and then basically 6 months you were already running 100-miler. And I think part of that is that there are some skills that you will develop as a runner, and I've improved, but I already had them to a large extent. So for example, you will be much more resilient. You'll be used to facing adversity. You'll be used to problem solving, to to being in situations that seem absolutely helpless and finding ways out, being resilient, building your mental toughness, being able to see the problems, yes, but also think about solution, think about ways to resolve that. You will also improve things like time management, because if you're building towards racing your first, let's say, 100-miler, you'll need to put a lot of hours into training. You'll have a training schedule, and it's hard to find that time. It's really, really hard if you're a regular person like me, having a regular life and being busy already. Finding time for your long runs can be very difficult to manage between your work, your family, other obligation that you might have. Running is a hobby, so at the end of the day, I can't really skip a day of work just because I need to do a long run. I just need to find the time, and what that means is that you will work through what's the expression again? It's addition through subtraction, which means that you will prioritize your life and you will reorganize things and you will get rid of things that are actually not positive in your life. You'll need to take a hard look at where does your time go, where does your energy go, and let go of the things that are not helpful. Wasting too much time watching TV, maybe drinking, these sorts of things. No, you'll need to be better at time management. You don't need to do that. That's gone. You're going for a run instead, which obviously has benefit in your life in general. Getting rid of things, getting rid of negative things in your life is just as important as bringing positive things, and you'll be much better at that. Another big one is that you will hopefully become more confident. I think there's a lot of people that get into trail and ultra running and are worried about, can I do this? And truth is, you can do this, but you might not succeed this time. But if you're resilient, you will eventually succeed, and you will realize how much potential you have. And sorry if that sounds cliche, but there is a lot of potential hidden in you, and I believe in you. And trail running and ultra running will help you push the limit of what you felt was possible, and that will grow your self-confidence. Yes, in running, of course, but also in general. And this increased confidence will boost your happiness, of course, but will have kind of a radiating effect in your life in general. You'll be a little bolder. Doesn't mean to be delusional, but more believing in yourself a little bit more, having this confidence to try new things, try new projects, try to reach a little higher, try to do a little bit more. You ran an ultra marathon, like, this is amazing. Not many people can say that, and you were able to do that not because you're a natural born athlete that can just do it in their sleep. No, you had to work hard towards that. You had to be resilient, and you will realize that that's something you can apply to almost anything in life. And the last benefit is funny because it's probably why I got into trail and ultra running in the first place, and I still think it's a huge benefit, but it seems small in comparison to just being happy in general. But for me, it is my happy place. It's to connect with nature. It's to discover new areas and really see the landscape. It's fun to drive to Great Canyon and just you're on the rim and you look down and say, oh, that's really nice, and then you go. But as a trail runner, no, that's not what you do. What you do is you go down there and you experience nature. You're out there, you're very remote, you'll have wonderful views, wonderful landscape, things that no one else could see but you. And just the fact that you reach that by foot makes it a bajillion times more rewarding and more beautiful. The sunrise that you have when you have an ultra marathon, one of the most beautiful sunrise I had, which was not, technically speaking, probably not the most beautiful, but the way it felt was the sunrise when I was finishing Ure 100. I was with Nora, I was in my happy place, and then you have this beautiful sunrise. If I had slept all night and just woke up to that, it would have been meh. But you will be there. You will know nature. You will be in nature. You will discover new place. And also, I think just doing it on foot helps you have a better sense of how grand something is. I said Grand Canyon. Doing rim to rim to rim is a great way to see, whoa, Grand Canyon is really grand, like it's big, it's not small. But obviously, I'm biased, I'm a trail runner, I love the sport, and I'm really just trying to recruit you into this cult. But trust me, Trail running and ultra running is a beautiful sport. It is a sport that will support your growth, both physical and mental, and your health in general. You will meet fantastic people. You will share beautiful time with loved one, and it will grow on you. These benefits you will observe very early on as you get into running and trail running, but the longer you stay, the more obvious it will become. The more obvious you will notice things like, I'm more confident, I'm bolder in general, I speak up for myself a little bit more, and I'm overall happier. This is my happy place now. So grab your shoes, get some fresh air, go on trail and have fun, and hopefully you will realize all of these benefits. As always, thanks for watching.